Hello and welcome to the Philippines. Here I am at SM City Mall in Cebu City, and my girlfriend's working the night shift for a few days, so I was out wandering around and getting bored, wondering where can I go, what can I do, and so I took this hobble driver, this motorbike taxi. Got some infrastructure going on here, not much in the way of safety barriers at all. But I said, take me to Times Square over by Park Mall. And many of you have already watched my video about Times Square. Anyway, in a couple of minutes, I'm going to show you an interesting police checkpoint experience we had along the way. I'm also going to point out a number of places along the way. Cebu City is a small, big city. It has a dense population, therefore I hear different numbers for population. 2 million, 3 million. Of course, then it's got the metropolitan area as well. But anyway, SM Mall is to the right here. Big, nice mall. Across the street, many of you who have been to Cebu City have not been across the street to the left. There's the APM Mall. You can find many really good deals there. There's a generic drugstore. If you're into generic drugs, there's a place I bought flashlights there for a third of the price that they want in other malls like J Center Mall. They want maybe $1,500 for a flashlight that I bought, and I was able to get it for $600 there. And as a matter of fact, I'll do another video. I was able to get it down at E Mall, Elizabeth Mall, downtown Cebu City for like $300, half the price I bought at APM Mall. Anyway, this area used to have a lot of food vendors out on the street out here, and there's a nationwide crackdown on street vendors who are sitting on sidewalks, plugging up the sidewalks. So very few of them here anymore. In the streets, you would have dozens and dozens and dozens of taxi drivers and others parked here, eating, sleeping different times of the day and night. And we're coming up here to another. You have the Bayfront Hotel just on the right down here, and the Radisson Blue Hotel to the right. This is another very, very busy intersection with no signals, no traffic signals. So everybody is on their own. You honk your horn and go. You try to stop before you hit anybody else. And I've never seen an accident there, but I've seen a lot of close calls. And we're headed over. We're in Mabolo in Cebu City right now. We're going to cross this bridge. I think that's the dividing line between Mabolo and Mandaue City. And they've really done a lot to clean up that river. I think it's still considered a dead river and that nothing can live there, but they've removed a lot of the trash. To the right, you have the SM supermarket, food store. You have the HMR store, which is, I've done a couple videos about that. HMR, very interesting store. They handle a lot of interesting products, a broad range of products. Another busy intersection with no signals, and it seems to work in the Philippines. The construction going on straight ahead of us, very large development, and seems to be going up quite rapidly. Cebu, or let's see, Ayala Land and somebody else involved in the project. And it is a multi-use, huge development. Go a couple blocks. I think it's commercial buildings as well as condominiums. And I've sent them an email, and I've never gotten any response back to trying to find out any additional information. And that's my experience 99% of the time. I send emails out to companies, and I never get any response in return. So maybe the marketing departments, maybe they don't have a marketing, maybe they don't have anybody reading these things, or the person reading them has no idea what to do. with requests for additional information. But anyway, that's going to be another development that's going to transform this area. It's right across the street from the North Bus Terminal. And I think this was about 9 p.m. in the evening, I believe. I did not have the camera on during the complete riot, but a good part of it. Sugbo Tours, I think they're I read someplace, part of the Cirrus company, that group. Anyway, here is UC Medical Center in Mandawi, and we're getting close to Park Mall. Right ahead of there is Chunghwa Hospital, the newer one. Right across to our left is MO2. It's a bar. They've got a bar outside. Here's the checkpoint. Hello.
Hey, good evening.
Good evening.
Go, go.
All right. Nice to meet you.
Philippines.
All right.
Take care.
All right. I thought it was because of me that they let us go so quickly, but my driver said that he had all of his documents, and I believe he had them in a clear packet, so he could just hold it up and they could see it very quickly. But anyway, that MO2 bar, they've got an outdoor area that plays more easy listening, more older popular music. This Chunghwa Hospital on the right, and then the inside they have very loud, bone-rattling disco. Been in there once with some people, insisted I go with them. And then they have a large, many KTV. And here's another big restaurant area. It gets very popular. Filipino food mostly, I think. Probably have some Korean food there.
And Rico's Lechon, new place over
Rico's
there.
Lechon.
And Park Mall.
They have Park Mall to the right and Times Square directly to the left of it, across the street. And they've got a casino in part of this Park Mall too. Casino Filipino, something like that. Down the street, about a block and a half to the right, is the BEA Bia. Pronounce that, Bia. Very popular, large hotel. About over 600 rooms. They've got Mandani Bay, big development, just down a couple of blocks to the right. There is an old convention center, takes up a huge block just up straight ahead of us to the right, that was damaged in 2013 by the hurricane or the earthquake. I'm not sure what it was, but it has been shut down since then. And I've read that they're going to make that into a multi-use development, condos, mall, corporate type buildings. But the story doesn't end there. I spent a couple of hours at Times Square doing video, and that is a concentration of bars and restaurants, and many of you have seen that video. Anyway, I started walking back home, and this motorbike driver pulled up, hobble taxi pulled up, and gave me a heck of a good deal, so I decided to take him back home instead of walking. Now, many people talk about how bad traffic is in Cebu City, and it's not nearly as bad as in Manila. I've met two taxi drivers that have moved to Cebu City from Manila, and they say, "Oh, this is great, there's no traffic in Cebu City." Of course, it's all relative. Depends upon the time of day, and it depends upon what street you're at. There are bottlenecks certain places. There are other places like this main highway here where traffic usually flows pretty good. There are a couple main thoroughfares where it usually flows pretty good. So you get to know the different streets after a while and the different times of day, just like when I lived in Los Angeles, the worst traffic in the USA. You got to know certain roads you just didn't use certain times of the day, like what was it, the 91 freeway. It seemed to always be going east and west there. It seemed to always be congested. I have noticed that most of our streets are cleaner than they were. Somebody told me that often happens after an election, and I've seen the sidewalks that are are cleaner. I've seen more infrastructure going on, and I think it's just finally coming down the pipeline. The people are different places. They're getting the funding and the employees. There's a huge shortage of trained, qualified construction workers across the Philippines because many of them go overseas, of course, where they can earn much, much more money. Anyway, that is a topic for another video. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like the video. Please share the video. Please subscribe. Safe travels to you all wherever you're at. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever your situation is.
Merry Christmas.
And we will see you next time.